What's good, my people, them, and welcome to another episode of the Realist Debates with myself, the realist one, Jay.
Lengman Joseph from Around the Ways, aka Joey Leng, aka Just Joey. And Deneo.
Doneo. What are we talking about today, Jay?
Yeah, so one thing that I wanted to get talking about is social media.
Woo!
You know, looking at the positives and the negatives of what it's like today.
So can we talk about Clubhouse first then?
No. But before we do that, I want to take a trip down memory lane.
Okay.
Because we're that generation where we didn't have social media and things like this before, and now it's here compared to some of the younger generations where it's all they've known. So, D, for you, what was social media like, kind of back in the day?
Like, for me, MSN, bro. MSN. Do you remember MSN? I've created a lot of business from MSN.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of business, and then BlackBerry.
Was
okay, yeah.
That was like my introduction to.
Remember the pins?
Yeah, listen, yo, babes. Let me get your pin though.
Yeah, bro.
Like, BBM. You just expected them to have
so
BBM.
you could be attached to someone without actually giving them your personal details. That's what that was, really. That's what social media does. It allows you to be attached to someone without actually having without having their personal details, so you can actually reach them, right? And I feel like my first interaction with the concept of social media was MSN, then BlackBerry, then Facebook.
MySpace and that.
Yeah.
Do you remember
MySpace and Facebook? I think they came out at the same time.
Pixel, was it?
I don't remember that.
There was
High Five.
Black Chat.
No?
Oh shit! Yeah.
ASL, age, sex, location.
Oh gosh.
I'm showing my age, boy. That's way back.
I wasn't.
Purple writing.
I was a nerd, bro. I didn't know about that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
I wasn't cool enough for that.
Yeah, I remember that from way back when. And for me, I think probably the main thing that I was getting deep into social media wise was MSN. Like when I tell you, like class will finish in secondary school, right? We're in class now. School's finished. I'm running home to boot my computer on to jump on MSN to talk to you.
Blood hearing that.
Their dial up saying, "Oh, what, mum, you on the phone? Okay. Yeah, no, mum, no, because mum, I got homework. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. These times I was on MSN, MySpace, all of that, man. All of that.
That is a
dial-up thing. That's a mad.
Do you know, going back as well, talking about communication, social media, etc. I remember my first phone, and this was before the digital age.
Which one was it?
Bro, I had, it was called a Sagem.
What?
Bro, SAGEM.
Actually,
I don't even know if they make them anymore.
That does ring a bell.
It does. Was it silver?
Yeah.
No, it was just some black ugly thing on Voda, blood. And the screen was green.
Oh, I know the phone you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can see it. Did it have the
the
aerial?
Aerial.
Yeah.
So,
but that was high tech back then.
bro, back then that was high tech. And even thinking about it, I'm old, bruv. Going back before then, man had a pager. You remember a pager?
Yeah, you had a pager.
Yeah.
Bro,
I didn't see the point in those.
Whoa,
a green
coming like a doctor.
Bro, I had a pager, cuz.
I didn't see the point in those pages.
Wow.
Bro,
it didn't really make sense to me, you know.
Bro, you had to dial a number, if I remember rightly, and then they would send your number through to the pager, and that person would call you back or something like that. I don't even remember how it worked, but yeah, going back, my first phone was a Sagem. Then I had one of them BT Cellnet things when they were bashers.
I remember those.
Shit. 1-to-1 before T.
Yeah.
Did you have the Nokia flip phone? That was the ultimate phone. When it came to swag and style, because the Nokia flip phone, you could change the
faces.
Yeah. And I remember Brez used to have like you had the flip, but then they upgraded the flip, and you could get like a tiger or zebra phone and it slid.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you know, my first phone
and
was...
the fucking aerials that were getting off different colours. And
man.
I think my first phone was Nokia 7600. Remember the square phone?
Yeah.
And
you hold it that way?
Yeah, and you could change the skin. So I think the first one I had was like gold. Then I was like, yeah, let me try a little pastel blue, this, that, the other. Yeah, man.
Them phones
First
there.
phone.
Snake. Do you remember Snake?
Yeah, that was big time.
Bad.
Now
That
man's
was-
playing Street Fighter.
Bro, man could literally sit on the phone for hours playing this game. A little black line following. Bro.
Yeah, and I was that guy that because back then you could only have like no more than 10 songs on your phone.
Boy.
No more than 10 because it was like what 32 megabyte thing.
Bruv, do you remember when it changed from green to color?
That was
a shock.
Because that's when you could get the MP3s on your phone.
Do you know what? And I think my first color phone, I don't know where I got it from, was a Sony Ericsson P900
Oh my days.
Yeah.
That was also a banging phone.
It had a
That
pen.
was a beautiful phone.
It had a flip you could take off and have the whole screen.
Yeah, that was a beautiful phone. That was a beautiful
I
phone.
thought back then, I don't know what year it is, but I was in the future. I was living with the Jetsons then. Bro. When I had that phone, no one could tell me shit.
Yeah, that phone
bro.
was hard. That phone and the Nokia flip phone are my two favorite phones of all time.
So look where we are now. Like, it's mad.
So we got TV screens in our pocket.
Trust me.
Bro, how technology has moved on. So bearing in mind, the reason why I said that as well is that obviously them phones, you could only text, literally. And I think
SMS.
it had a 160 character limit or something.
140.
Like that.
Bruv, let me ask you something.
140.
Let me ask you something, yeah?
Go on.
I've always thought this is like, it's like a weed conversation, really. But I've
go on.
always thought that, like, the way technology is now, we're slightly doing telepathy. Because let's just talk about WhatsApp. I can call you, yeah? We're in a WhatsApp group. And while I'm talking to you on the phone, we are having a different conversation in the WhatsApp group. Like me and you, let alone everyone else is in the WhatsApp. Between me and you, we're having we're talking on the phone and I'm like, yo, where are we going?
These times you're one hand texting.
And then these time I'm texting you in the football group, talking about the scores. So I'm having a conversation with you about booking the podcast, and then and at the same time, we're gunning each other about the score. Yeah. And then after that, I can tweet. You've tweeted a video and I've retweeted it. So that's we're having 3 conversations at the same time. And that's happened. Yeah. And then after that, I'm liking your pic on Instagram at the same time as, so you're having like 5, 6, 7, 8 conversations at the same time. That's basically telepathy.
Yeah. And you know what? Like me and my brethren, we are very culpable of this. We'll be talking on WhatsApp, whether it's messages or bouncing voice notes back and forth with each other. But then I might send them something on Instagram, like some funny post. And then we're talking about that on there. And we're talking about that for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, wait, hang on. You've not even responded to my question on WhatsApp. Like, yo, go back there and respond to that. That's more important than this dumb video.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just so many conversations happening in different places.
Yeah.
And then you might even say, you know what? This reminds me of something that I saw on Twitter. Wait, let me tag you in that now. And then you're just bouncing in so many different places.
You do that bare times in the
Bare, bro.
Bare
Like
times.
the amount of, like literally we'll be sitting, like I'll be here on the sofa, he'll be over there. And we're watching football, but I'm sending him stuff through Instagram, or we're sending each other stuff, or on Snapchat group and stuff like that. Just loads of different conversations. And then we're also talking about the football we're watching.
It's mad. It's mad. So yeah, technology has taken a big turn in evolution. But then social media. So you're saying your first one was what? MSN?
Yeah, MSN and BlackBerry.
Yeah. So what you using nowadays?
Now,
Yeah, nowadays.
like what for communication, a lot of WhatsApp.
yeah.
Yeah, only some people I text, because some people only text. They refuse to go on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I got a brethren like that.
Right,
So
yeah.
I rate him though.
And then Instagram, like my social media, I just use for business. I don't talk to none of my friends
On there.
on there and have long conversation. Like I started doing Telegram, but that's only because of like stocks and shares.
Yeah, okay.
And then one of my friends that usually speaks to me on WhatsApp's trying to have a long conversation with me on Telegram. I'm like, bruv,
this ain't the place for it.
let's just go to WhatsApp. Bro. We don't need to. I'm not here for that on his.
This is
mad how you could be
business.
like that as
It's
well.
true. It's true.
Like a conversation should just be able to have anywhere. But I've had times where I'm like, yo, bro, like, let's bring this to WhatsApp. It's the same thing, but I just feel weird in that method of communication talking about a certain
but
thing.
I think it's too much. It's like you're being attacked by too much things at the same time. It's like I don't need to talk to you on Telegraph. Can we just do one thing and just focus it there? Because what if I've got to go back to that convo? I've got to look in my Telegraph messages and I've got to look in my WhatsApp messages, try and correlate where the conversation was going. It's like, it's long, bro. Let's just keep it in WhatsApp.
It's a myth.
No, it's true, man. And I suppose with technology and social media changing so much, like what do you guys think is some of the positives that's happened with that?
It's helped business-wise. It's definitely helped me business-wise, because now if I make a song, I can go directly to my audience and my audience can come directly to me. I think if it wasn't for the internet, I may not have even had a career.
Word like that. So so a lot of your imprint has been from social media, and a lot of kind of the success in your career you've had has come from there.
Yeah, because like, say for instance, like I used to be in a crew, right? And I remember when we used to go on Pirate Radio, I'd ask all the listeners to send in their email, their addresses. I'd get one of the man them to write down all the addresses. That's a bit of a headache because they're like, why am I writing? I'm like, bruv, we're all in this together kind of thing. And then when it comes down to it, I'm like, right, we've got these 100 addresses. Let's press up some CDs and mail this to people. And everyone's like, I'm not doing that. It's long. Now with social media, I can just do it myself. I can just
do the hit of a button as well.
Yeah, I can just holler whoever I want to, and I don't have to worry about like someone else's ego thinking that they're too big to do whatever. And that's what social media done for me. It gave me the control to do what I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I see this a lot on Twitter, where you'll see like a random tweet that's like a joke will bang. You'll get like 200,000 likes or something like that. But then within the comments, you'll see people using that as free advertisement. Like, oh yeah, I have this business.
Yeah.
You know, and the one really good one I saw from that was Black made art. And I remember seeing that and thinking, you know what, forget whatever this tweet is about now. Let me start sharing that with other people because I just love the business that my man's doing. And I just love the way how with social media you can just use it as free advertisement like that. Man.
Yeah.
Literally off the back of that as well, funny you say that, I always, like any tweet that bangs, I always look at the comments. I don't know why, but I find like there might be a tweet that is hilarious. So I laugh at it, but then I go in the comments and I find funnier things. So when I go down there, like you said, I see adverts for business, etc. So yeah, I mean, social media has definitely helped in that way. Another thing that I'd say as well is like things like crowdfunding, where people might need an extra boost or help where, you know, for example, and it's not even always on a positive where there's been people that have passed away and people might not be able to afford a funeral payments. It might have just come out the blue. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you can send that out, which you can do now, that's a massive kind of positive of social media that I've seen as well, is that you can reach a broad amount of people. Obviously, we don't all have the followers like you. We don't all have that reach, but yeah, you know, that's a benefit, is that you can kind of.
But you could. This is the thing, right? If you wanted to say have as many followers as I've got, you could study social media and you can work out a marketing plan.
I can buy them.
And you could do that. Well, you could buy them, but
I can buy them.
You can buy them, but you could also, like, it's not far-fetched. Like, me wanting to be like Michael Jackson's far-fetched. Anyone that wanting to be like me is not far-fetched. anymore.
But for me to get your amount of followers, not saying that I necessarily want them, but I'd have to be skilled in something.
You are skilled in something.
Okay, but that's on a more personal level. So
Yeah, but I know
my
personal
skills
Yeah, but I know
But-
personal trainers that have way more followers than I do.
than you.
Yeah, of course.
But that what, like Joe Wicks or someone like that?
Still got more followers than me.
But bro, he's jumping up and down. That's for me, like no disrespect to Joe Wicks, but what he's putting out there to the masses is not fitness.
I hear that.
And that's a disrespect to me as a fitness
Fair
professional.
enough, but he still has more followers than me.
Yeah, but it's how he got them. Like what they're following him, it's like a herd kind of sheep mentality. They're following him because they believe he's doing something good.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, he is. But what I'm saying is, with yourself, obviously, you make people feel happy. Right now, as we're doing this, there's people out there playing your tunes.
Yeah.
And feeling good about it. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the kind of point that I was making. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think probably the last one in terms of some positives that's come out of social media is just how it connects people as well.
Mm.
For
Yeah, like with
example,
the BLM and all that sort of stuff that's happened.
Mhm.
so I was thinking definitely that, but I was thinking more just family and things like that. For
Yeah.
example, I have family scattered across the globe, but it's a way for me to excuse me, to tap into their lives, not only just speak to them on the phone, but also through Instagram get to see what they're doing.
I think that's a negative too.
It can be.
Someone like me is I don't want to be that easily accessible.
Yeah, it depends on each individual person and how they want to use it as well.
Yeah.
But going back to your point in terms of connecting people like BLM, like definitely as well, and it helps kind of amplify
Yes.
those messages as well sometimes, because I'm sure there were probably people that they might not have big black demographics in their communities, but they probably saw what's going on in America, what's going on
Felt
here
away
as well.
about it because
And
they're just
yeah,
good
just
people.
literally felt away and thought, rah,
I didn't know.
I don't rate that, Let me start talking up.
Yeah.
Because what I was shocked about last year was some of the locations of where these protests were happening, the BLM protests, like random countries like Estonia. And I'm thinking, I'm like, raw, what?
And you would never know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but human rights are respected all over the world.
But it's just the way how through social media, that message got to get pumped out a lot wider
Yeah.
than it would have beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for me as well, another thing that I see in it is that it brings people together to a certain aspect, like you were saying with the BLM and etc. Like, if you have a certain issue or feeling about a certain thing, you can literally tap into someone in America or in Poland or somewhere way across the world that has the same kind of feeling or emotion. Like, I use Twitter now like I use Google sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Literally, if I wanna
It's
see
true,
something,
though, yeah,
or
for
if
real.
I wanna
Yeah,
search
that's
something,
true.
If I want to see what Boris is going to say, it's Twitter I go to first.
and that way you can also get the banter side of it. So you're gonna get
Yeah.
BBC, you're gonna get Sky, but you're gonna get someone taking the piss out of it as well. So you're gonna get bare facets to that one
You know,
situation.
do you know the amount of times someone's messaged me saying like, yo, have you heard about da-da-da, whether they're like a rapper or whoever they are? And I've gone, no.
But
And
you
then
go
on
on
the
I'm on
internet.
Twitter. Like, listen,
or
let me go on
Insta.
Twitter because let me just search their name. Something's going to pop up and I'm going to laugh as well.
Yeah.
So that when I go back to my man who says, have you heard about so-and-so? I can hit him back with, yeah, man, look at this tweet, man. Jokes, in it? Like, that's where I get my information from sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Social media has made information easily accessible.
But it's a distorted news source as well sometimes.
I think it's both. It's like Twitter for me, yeah. A lot of people look at Twitter negatively, but in my head, I'm just like, you only see what you want to see. Like, Twitter is both. It's good and bad, depending on how you take in the information. Do you know what I mean? Same with like social, like say YouTube. Like, I'm a massive Jordan Peterson fan, right? There are loads of people that hate this guy, but for some reason his message appeals to me, kind of thing. And like, there's other people I see that speak on the topics he speaks on, and I'm just like, you don't know what you're talking about. You think you know what you're talking about because you have a confident tone, right? But you are not. You're not really being real. Like say, like little things. Like say, for instance, like at the core of every man, whether you like it or not, we all need to feel responsible. That's in us. Like we need to feel like responsibility is really the core of growing up as well. Not even just for men, for women as well. Like just the core of growing up and feeling worth something is taking on responsibility.
It's true.
I mean,
I've only heard Jordan Peterson say it like that. Everyone else is like, you got to do this. No, it's as simple as taking responsibility wherever that is for you.
Okay, no, I definitely hear that. And something that I wanted to say kind of off the back of that is, you know, we've spoken about some of the positives and stuff, but going into like more some of the negatives now is I feel that social media, as much as it is providing in terms of information, there are a lot of negative sides to it in terms of in terms of, I feel like people on social media have a heightened sense of self-importance. So, for example, there's people on Twitter or Instagram that may have a certain view or whatever, and they'll get a lot of followers. It might be a radical thing, but they'll get a lot of followers. And when they get a lot of followers, that makes them feel important. You know what I'm saying? And it don't necessarily mean that what they're saying is the truth.
Yep.
Do you
Jordan
understand?
Peterson touches on that as well. Like he's just like he has to remind himself that okay, cool. He's getting a new fan base and people love him. People worship this guy, and he has to remind himself this is not. It's real. What I'm doing is good, but not to let this get to my head, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then another thing as well, like, do you guys find that you restrict yourself from certain social media platforms because you just feel like, yo, do you know what? Yeah, I can't deal with this.
I'll let you take that one first.
Yeah, so I think there's probably, I don't jump on every new one that comes on. Because, for example, I have social media accounts, but how much of, for example, my life I put onto it is extremely
So what ones have you avoided that you're just like, I'm not doing this?
So like TikTok, for example, I don't have that.
Right.
And things like Vine I never had. So things like that, I kind of leave alone because the way I see it is I got Insta, I got Twitter as well. There's a flow. So most of those videos I'll get there anyway. So I don't need that. I'm just having apps for app's sake. And on top of that, like how long will I be spending on these apps as well? Because there's times like literally.
Do you think it's a FOMO thing as well, though?
In terms of what people have,
in terms of just off the back of something you were saying, in terms of like having apps for app's sake. Like if I messaged you, look at this thing on Zinger.
Actually, no.
For example,
I've got
just
a perfect
random
example
app
to answer that, and to answer we're gonna now talk about Clubhouse, right? So literally, I remember going on Twitter and just scrolling through, like, listen, let me just catch some jokes before I start work, and I saw a hashtag. I think it was Hinge's Ghetto, and I thought, yo, work might have to get paused. You know, I might have to just see what this is saying. So I'm scrolling there, laughing. And I'm like, what? Wait, this sounds like it was from a conversation that took place. It don't sound like people are just randomly tweeting about this. What's happened? What's going on here? What have I missed? Oh, what? This was on Clubhouse last night. What? Oh, what? I missed that. Nah, that can't run. Now I'm thinking, how am I getting into Clubhouse? Who's got the link?
These times I got an Android.
So listen, I got an Android as well. I'm all Googling like, when is it going to be released for Android, this, that, the other? Like, and the thing is, because I like having discussions, I'm like, no, that app is for me. Like, I will love it more than just a random Instagram that's come out. You know,
fucking house party.
Yeah, so, and you know what happened when I got it and I downloaded it? I didn't use it for like 3 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah,
As soon as I
remember
got
you
it,
saying
I was just like, yes, got it now. It's cool. And I've only started going into rooms here and there in probably the last 4 days.
Bruh.
And I've had it for over a month.
I stay a million miles away from Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Do you know, when I saw the concept, because I remember like my friend was saying to me, yo, you'd be heavy on, because obviously I'm outspoken, innit? Like, and as soon as I saw the concept of Clubhouse and I saw a couple of arguments, I was like, no, Ian, you do not need to be on this app because somebody will draw you out. They will draw you out. And that whole Clubhouse for me is just a massive draw out. I've seen, there was one topic on there, yeah? And in my head, I thought, are we really stupid enough to have this conversation? Like, really? Like, this is not a conversation that should be had. And I so badly wanted to get in there and be like, you guys stupid. Like, but then I thought, but I wanted to. I wanted to jump in and say, are you actually stupid, all of you, for having this conversation? And then I thought, let me come off this app. Because I realized this app is going to cause some wars.
Listen, it will. It will.
Because like everybody that's... everybody for me, cool,
Yeah,
but
you
for
don't,
me,
trust me.
for everyone that jumps
Get
in
and talk my
on
thing.
these conversations, it's like the conversation always ends up being about two egos. It'll start
I
off
agree.
From the
as
little
a
screenshots
I
I've seen, that's always the way.
Yeah.
it always ends up being two egos.
A fight for
And-
supremacy.
yes, and then like those people then start disrespecting people around them that they normally wouldn't be like some people trying to be peace, but you can't because it's like there's no one stopping you there. There's no consequences for your actions with and I just feel like Clubhouse is an intense version of Twitter, and Twitter can be toxic.
It's a live version.
And
Yeah,
do
Because
you know
you have to react straight off
There
the bat.
and then.
There's no, do you know what? Let me go toilet.
Nah.
Let me
And then
bun
you're
one.
like-
Like
and
you
then-
have to react straight away.
And then like another thing I don't like about Clubhouse is like there's certain people, yeah, like we'll be out, yeah, and there will be certain people you'll be like, D, why are you off with that person? I'm not wasting my time talking to him or her. It's hello and goodbye. I wouldn't talk to them. I know what they're about. I know that they haven't got my best interests at heart. I know that if we have a conversation, it's going to be detrimental to me or like it's going to go somewhere I don't want it to go. So I wouldn't talk with them. Whereas Clubhouse is just full of strangers. Like, you haven't even built up respect for the people you're talking to understand if you respect their opinions and then
And that
you're just
brings-
flinging in there and just...
Yeah. Do you know what it is as well
Go
with
on.
Clubhouse? I think like any other social media app, it's a good app. It's some of the people that are using it. Because I've been in some rooms that are wonderful, they're respectful, but I think where the problem lies in certain rooms that I've listened into, and I thought there's things I want to say, but it'll be long because it'll be a draw out, and it's where I think a lot of people are in there in those rooms, and what they're listening to, they think people are saying it's facts when it's not. It's their opinion. This is my lived experience,
This man will
or
break
this
my
is
neck.
this is what I think. But what people are hearing is, oh, what? You think that's your fact? I think this. Oh, what? You don't agree with me? You're trying to say I'm wrong. But
And-
it's all opinions.
in front of
And then-
strangers.
yeah,
and
and then-
that's why the ego gets...
Yeah, and that's where the egos start getting drawn out.
Yes.
And you lot are talking perfectly on something that I was going to brush upon is clout, fam. Clout.
Yeah, I think anyone that wants clout, Clubhouse is for you.
But this is the thing though, going back to what you were saying before, where it's always a constant back and forward, I think that the actual, from what I've seen from screenshots and then referring to Twitter when people are having debates, is it always comes down to that fight for supremacy. Someone wants to be right and they want to prove that that other person is wrong.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? There's never no compromise or whatever. And I think this is where social media kind of distorts people's views of reality. It's like, okay, we're on a social media platform. People are watching our conversation. I know that, you know that. So I can't look stupid here. I'm going to have to say something that is going to have some bang for his buck out there. I'm just posting it. obviously I'm having a conversation with you and we're having a debate, but what I say out there, I know that potentially, I got 1,000 followers, for example, they're going to see it. So I know that I got to say something that if shit hits the fan, at least I'm coming out of it looking rosy. Do you
Rather
understand?
than just thinking, let me just have a decent conversation.
A decent conversation. And this is what I'm saying is social media is distorting how people are actually having normal conversations.
Yeah.
It's like you
Because
can't...
it's always, okay, how can I get one up or how can I make this person look stupid rather than sticking to the actual fact?
This is why, because everyone's like, oh, but you can speak well and like, why don't you talk up about certain issues and stuff like that? And I'm like, if I'm comfortable around people, right, that understand how I talk and how I think, I can get my point across, right? But I'm not a skilled public speaker. So I know I could say something, right? And the wrong person can misunderstand what I'm trying to say and take it the wrong way and not even give me the chance to, one, I didn't want to even make you feel bad with what I said, to apologize, and to explain myself on what I really mean.
And that's even the same point that I was just making is that they'll misread you because they'll think that you're trying to get one up on them. Do you get what I'm saying?
But then
their reaction's going to be anti towards you, not even trying to understand, hold on, he might have a point. They're just going to see the negative in it. And then their response is going to be anti. And then before you know it, you're in some
That's why I don't get into
conversation.
I don't get into whenever whenever there's a situation where social media is on me, I don't get into the back and forth of it. Because you lot, the gang of people that are attacking me, you've made up your mind already. You don't want to hear that I actually think maybe I explained it wrong. You just want to vilify me. And there's nothing in the world that's going to stop that. And you feeding into it, right, by responding, it attacks you mentally. Again, Jordan Peterson, he even said himself, like, he stopped responding to negative comments because it affects him days afterwards. And we all like, I don't care. No, you may not care, but it does affect you. It does make you feel a way. Like I've had anxiety from some of the things. Like, I'm not saying anything that's not normal or that people would say to themselves, but there's a group of people that didn't want that level of honesty. And I might have said it in the wrong environment, right? What I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't read the room properly, which sometimes happens. Like you just make a mistake, innit?
Yeah.
And then when they're attacking me, bruv, there's been times,
Onslaught.
I just come off social media for a week. So
I took a big social media break.
Yeah.
Massive. And reason being is that I was just seeing the same shit every day, like the same topics, like dating and race and sex and all these kind of things. Not saying that they shouldn't be spoken about, but the level that people were going to speak about this, it just seemed like everyone was trying to one up each other.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you look at the conversations on a whole on social media, I can't even get into them with an element of, okay, let me try and bring some reason to this, because then I feel that person or the people in the conversation are going to think that I'm trying to get one up on them. Do you know what I mean? And the type of person that I am, I'm outspoken. So if I see shit, I'm going to call shit. Do you understand? But people, like you said, they don't want to hear the facts or the truth of the matter.
No.
They just want to come out of it looking rosy.
And
even like, say for instance, I've made comments on certain things and it's bit me in the bum. And then I thought to myself, rah, like, to be honest though, this platform is salacious anyway. And as much as I might be making a comment, I think it's all jokes. It's like, it's not going to be taken as a joke. So I've said things, they're not even that bad, but it's just like, you can tell people's feelings are hurt by it. And I'm just like, do you know what? Let me just come off like responding on certain things. Unless it's like funny or like something that is more or less about me, I'll comment. But now I don't really comment on things because again, like you can there's people are sensitive and some of your words can actually damage and hurt people. And you don't even realize what you're doing is being damaging or hurting unless you've got the skill. And like I said, I am not Obama. I can write a song that will touch you in a different way, yeah, or like influence you in a different way. But when it comes to speech, I don't know the science of writing a speech and actually speaking publicly, because there is a science to it. Otherwise, people wouldn't have made professions out of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a reason why a lot of comedians speak well and can articulate themselves when it comes to politics, because their whole business and career is based on communication. My career is not based on that. My career is based on audio. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I know my boundaries and I know my limits, and I know some topics, the way I think about them, I know is right, but I don't have the necessarily skills to portray that in a public platform. I can portray it in a
small conversation,
in a small
or whatever.
conversation where
Yeah.
everyone's got patience and
Yeah.
and like, if someone reacts to you in a negative way, it's just one person.
Yeah, it still feels like a safe space.
It's isolated.
And then I can feel like, oh, maybe like it's because it's one person and it's not 100 people attacking you. It gives you the space to go, am I in the right or am I in the wrong? If I'm in the right, I'm gonna fight back. Not literally fight back, but I'm gonna stick to my point. But if I'm in the wrong, I'm gonna back off and see where this person's coming from. Do you get what I'm saying? And then that person can explain to me where they're coming from, and then maybe I'm actually seeing it wrong. But there's a space. But when there's social media and you got 1,000 people just attacking you,
It's overwhelming.
Judgment.
you ain't got time to even think, am I right? Am I wrong? You just feel
And
away.
this is why now on social media, I kind of just, my footprint now is just more on a banter kind of level. Like, I realize I've gone through stages on social media as well. Like, I remember back in the day on Twitter, I used to see myself as this person that just tweeted real stuff. In my opinion, it was real, but to other people, it might not have been. And what I realized is some of the reactions or the comments that I'd get back always seemed like I was trying to take the piss or I was trying to be different, when really it's just me and the way that I think. So then I had to reanalyze how I come across on social media. Do you understand? So I realized that, for example, Twitter and how Twitter is now, and when I joined it, it's not really for a person as opinionated as me. So I can tap into it for the banter, and I can type funny things, which I've done up until this day. But when it comes to serious topics and when I give my input, it never gets received well.
Yeah.
So I've realized now what kind of part I play in social media as well. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like I can just go out there and tweet stuff that I think is prophecy, because someone might not think that. And the person that I feel that I come across as on social media, I feel that people always want to have a go. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like they always want to oppose something that I'm saying. And I could just be responding to something someone else has said and just give a different view on that. But then the response that I'll get is like, oh, why are you being anti or white? And then I just like, oh, why did I bother? Why did I write that message? Do you know what I'm saying?
Obviously,
So,
that's your role in the situation, in terms of, all right, cool, this is my thought, I'm going to post it out there. And obviously you've taken responsibility of, did I really need to put that out there, this, that, the other? But then let's look at the people that respond to it, because we all know there are people out there that just put any type of shit on Twitter, Instagram, this, that, the other, attacking people for what their thoughts, opinions might be, or even their performance at their job. Like we see how, for example, footballers are getting it, and it's been in the news for quite some time. So yeah, let's talk on that. Like, let's look at those people that are attacking people for their craft, opinions, etc.
Yeah,
and
it's
that,
a lot,
that
bruv.
then goes to, again, one of the negatives of social media is that anyone can contact anyone, literally.
Yeah. And you can't say that you're not. Now, there's certain people that might I don't even look at their DMs, but I know
It's toxic.
Yes.
yeah, or like
It's
or
negative.
like someone might be saying something about me and everyone's ganging up on me. I'm not looking at the comments, but I know that day I'm getting rinsed.
Mm.
So even that's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it just, you certain situations you can't win in. And that's why I think some things, sometimes the revolution needs to be won behind the door.
And that's another thing as well. With social media, I think it's very cliquey. Like, there's a certain sense of herd mentality.
But it's weird though. Can you guys explain something to me? So say like
Go on.
Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I like when people talk about Black Twitter, I'm just like, how do you know that it's this group of people? Because when I look at Twitter, I just see like loads of words. I don't see I don't see groups of people. I don't understand it. Or I've never really been attacked by like Black Twitter, but I've never been praised by them either. Like I've never like, I don't, or if I have, I don't, how do you see the groups on Twitter? Like,
It's just based on like what you follow, really. Like for me, if you were to scroll through my Twitter feed, you'll say, yeah, it's black Twitter and it's football Twitter.
Speaker be in big trouble.
And it's just the things that I follow and the people that I follow and what they retweet, etc.
Who are the leaders in Black Twitter then?
Well, I'm not trying to name no one.
I don't know. I don't use Twitter enough to know that.
Right.
Because even though I have Twitter, I have Instagram, I still probably compared to some other people, I have low usage.
Because I find that really interesting. Like, because I'm thinking, how are people seeing groups and communities?
I'll be real with you.
Words,
I feel like I'm part of Black Twitter.
We all are, but I wouldn't know if I was though. If I walked into a Black Twitter room and Twitter, I wouldn't know.
Do you know? I don't know. There's no real definition for me, but why I'd say I'm part of it is because when I look at Twitter, for example, it's all the things that I'm associated with. I associate myself with. So it's kind of like commonality where I can scroll my timeline and say, okay, I see that person's tweets. I'm interested in that person and what they got to say. I know that person posts funny pictures. And do you get what I'm saying? It becomes like a community, for example, where you'll see the same faces, the same kind of people. And believe it or not, Twitter is actually a small world. Like,
you think?
Bro.
I think so, yeah.
Bro, when it comes to UK, Twitter is small, cuz.
Tiny.
Why do you say that?
Because from what I've seen, you can tweet something and it's always the same people or
that respond back.
Yeah, that get involved in. And
that's why I'm saying I can't. That's exactly what it's like. Like, see Instagram. I can see a Black Instagram community. I can see why I'm a part of it. But
bear in mind, it's who you choose TikTok, to follow.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's who you choose to follow as well. So,
but
for example,
with Twitter, Twitter doesn't push what you're into to you, whereas Instagram and TikTok, they push. Like, if you look at my TikTok,
and search for it. That's the thing. So, for example,
no, it just comes
I might
to me.
see something on Insta or someone on Insta. Yeah, and it might be one of their tweets that's captioned. Yeah. And I might be like, oh, rah, that person's talking some real spit. So I'll then come off Insta, go on Twitter
and see what their tweets
and look for that person and scroll their timeline and see if it's consistent.
But when you like a picture on Instagram or TikTok, the algorithm takes that and goes, well, we'll give you more of this because we know you like that.
Right.
Does Twitter do that?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it does. I don't think like
Twitter is literally your mind. You're just tweeting your thoughts out there into the universe, hoping someone responds.
If next week, all I like on Instagram is politics and Boris Johnson, my timeline's going to be full up of politics.
Your discovery,
for a week,
yeah.
Whereas on Twitter, if I was to do that, my Twitter landscape wouldn't be like all about Boris.
Bro, you could tweet something today. And no one might respond, and you might log out of Twitter, come back a year later, all you're going to see is that one tweet that you last tweeted, and it will tell you how long ago. Whereas with Instagram, it's a constantly changing thing that's uploading. So same as Twitter, but with your account, you're just going to see the last bit of activity that you done. Do you get it? Whereas with What am I talking about? Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with Instagram, for example, it's always changing. So my discovery will change on a day to day. I don't even know what that's based on. I don't know where my Instagram, because if I look at my discovery, if I showed it to my girl, for example, I'll get in trouble. Because there's like naked, semi-naked things popping up on there. I don't know why.
Is that when you press the search thing? And
Like,
it's got that
yeah,
next
and
feed.
it's just got bare
that
random
feed,
football stuff,
that
naked
feed
people.
is
I'm like,
mad. There'll be some things I'll be like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then there'll be other stuff.
I'll be like, what is that?
where did that come from?
But what I think it is as well is because where we're in a couple of Instagram groups where man just chuck banter in, what happens is I'm getting some of what they're interested in into my feed now, just because I've gone on it and clicked it and thought, wow, this ain't for me. Let me back out. But then now I'm starting to see that all the time in my discovery.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, social media, man, it has its positives, it has its negatives, but for me, you just gotta moderate it. Because if you don't, it can actually
take over.
It not only take over, but alter your reality.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, if I spend too long on social media, the things that I'm looking at, I start to get consumed by.
Yeah.
And you know where that comes back to what you were saying before about clout, where you was looking at it more from like the words, some of the conversations people might have back and forth. But it's even some of the things people put up in the first place where they're just doing it for clout. Sometimes they're saying things for clout. You know, you see them like prank videos where man are pretending to rob man, or like a scrawny white kid will come up to like a group of black guys and like use the N-word or something.
Yeah.
And you just always see like
why?
What? Like for likes? Bruv, for likes.
There was a guy, his wife took time. The food was banging. And he was like, oh, let's see what the wife does. Yo, bitch. I was like, bitch.
Whoa.
That's that. I had to message. I said, is this guy serious? And she goes, listen, apologize, or I'll slap this in your face. And in my head, I was thinking, bruv, like,
you done that for likes.
Are you dumb? Like, that's your family. Like, you're gonna just disrespect her like that.
And that's it, though.
While she's making you munchies.
Bruv, that is a problem with social media. Like I said earlier on in the pod, is that it heightens people's sense of self-importance. Because,
nonsense.
Like you said, there's people that literally tweet stuff for a reaction.
Yeah. Like, I see people right on social media, yeah? They will talk with a certain level of confidence. You're not even listening. You're just drawn in by the confidence.
Comes from followers.
Right, but the point I was going to make is that after hearing them 2 or 3 times, you're like, you're chatting shit. Why did I get sucked into this? Why did I get sucked into this? Like, this person is out here talking like they've got the answers.
But bro, saying that, we live in a day where people are calling themselves influencers. Yeah. This is actually a title now. Like me personally, I can't go on Instagram and see one of these so-called influencers posting something and say to myself, I need to have that. That's me personally. But there is people out there that are obviously swayed by these things. Do you get what I'm saying? And again, that's where I say it takes away from people's sense of reality. Because if you've got a celebrity that's influencing, for example, and they've got their status from being an influencer, they're posting all these designers that people can't naturally afford. Do you understand? And then that makes them people go and act a certain way or do things that they might not be able to attain to live a certain lifestyle. All for social media.
Long thing.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because people are like, you'll meet people in real life and you'll say, oh, right, yeah, this person's cool, rare. Then you'll see them acting on social media a completely different way and you'll be like, rah, that's not you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's a dangerous thing as well, man.
The amount of people you'll see on social media, photos, drip this, drip that.
But then
look at their yards. They're all sleeping on a bunk bed and that.
Bro.
They're in their mid-20s.
Mattress on the floor.
Pushing 30, all of that, man.
But one thing I've noticed as well about social media, I don't know if this is a positive or a negative, like when you find a platform that suits you and you suit, there's no better feeling. Like I've been trying for years to put my personality out there because I understand that the game's change and like people don't just want to hear music. They want to know what you're about.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to find my way of balancing what I keep to myself and what I put out there in the world. But like Instagram and Twitter, people don't really, from what I'm seeing, for me, people just want to hear about my music. They don't want to have an interview with me. They don't want to do none of that. They just want to do that.
That's why we got you here.
Yeah. So like, but then at the same time, that hinders me because there's an element of my business that's lacking, and I'm trying. And then TikTok came around, and I was just like, this platform suits me.
Bangs. Yeah.
Like even like the way I think,
Suited for it.
like I've never like that skit I did with my mum. Yeah, right. I've never thought because that stuff that just happens, bro. Let me tell you something. Every time I go check my mum, it's the same shit. Like she's always asking me to do something, always asking me to buy something. But then I forgot that like as a culture, there's a demographic of people that would find this funny and relate to it, black or not black. If you love your mum, you're a slave. You do whatever she wants you to do. That's a fact. Like, and there's people out there that would relate to that and find that funny. But I didn't think it was anything funny when I was using Instagram or Twitter. But for some reason, TikTok's got me making content and I'm like,
that resonates with people.
This would be funny. Like my mum, when I was hoovering, yeah, like, so basically the story behind that was
when she sang I Died.
Yeah. So the whole story behind that skit, yeah, was like, my mum asked me the day before, because I was moving house, my mum asked me the day before, like, can you hoover up the house? And I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. So when I came round, I went and done a viewing at my house to repair certain things that are repaired now. And then I said, once I do this viewing, I'm going to drive back home. So I went home, got some stuff, went to my house, got the stuff viewed, and I drove back to hoover my mum's house. And then I was just like,
real nigga shit.
This is funny. I don't know why I thought that. I just thought, this is funny. And then I filmed the first bit. No, I filmed the first bit last.
Okay.
Because while I was hoovering, I was thinking, I bet you my mum singing Danae would be a piss take. Then I called her downstairs and said, Mum, sing this for me. And then all the other bits came. But it's because with TikTok, I've been creating so much content, my brain has started to think of stuff like that. And that's the app. The app has inspired me to do that. Whereas the other apps never inspired me, like, to put my personality out there. And I just think when you find the app that really, 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 really works for you, it does open you and your life. And if you got a business, to new ventures and experiences and people and stuff like that.
So I got a question for you, because one of the things that I picked up on that you said was the game's changed. People don't only want to listen to your music, they want to know the personality as well. Yeah. So for you, it's more of a business decision to jump on social media. Yeah. Whereas for us, it's more a choice, you know. And I think,
you know, just to
go on.
Just to say that if I wasn't a musician, I would not be on social media.
Okay.
I had to get forced to be on email.
Okay, this is going to help with my question.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Because I know for me, for example, if I was to put a photo of myself on Instagram, people that follow me, they will know me. I'm going to get probably 98% love. Yeah. Or the people that see it just won't like it. Yeah. I might get a few comments like strong arm emoji, like, yes, brother, you know what I mean? But for you, if you was to put something out there, you'd still get that, but you'll also get people that don't particularly know you, that might have a particular opinion. Yeah. So seeing how for you, it's more a business decision to jump on social media, and you have to still bring out part of yourself. How do you know how much to put out there for people?
I always gauge it on how uncomfortable I feel about the content.
That's something I need to learn as well.
Because like, there's some things I'll do And I'll feel uncomfortable. Then I'll be like, why? Like I've done a skit, where I'm like, what producers do afterwards when the rapper leaves. And then like I'm being silly. Like, and I'm listening to like Daft Punk. And it's all real. It's like Around the World and stuff like I'll show it to you after.
Mm.
When I looked at it, right, I felt uncomfortable, but I was actually laughing. And I was like, the reason I feel uncomfortable is because like I want people to take me serious. Right? And this shows that I'm silly. And I'm actually really silly. And I don't want someone to see that and just think, oh, Danae's friendly. Let me just approach him a certain way. And then I thought that's my insecurity because this gave me jokes and this is gonna benefit me. It's not nothing embarrassing. Whereas like I won't film social media content when I'm drinking or smoking or if I'm out with my friends and I might be a bit inebriated. I'm not on creating content in that environment because I'm in a different mindset. You know what I mean? So like when it comes to like posting stuff, I just listen to my instincts, and sometimes it's insecurities, and sometimes it's my fear going, this might be a bit far.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because even from like the personal level, like I see a lot of people sometimes, in my opinion, putting out too much of themselves on social media. And I think like probably the prime example I can think of is people with kids, right?
Yeah, I don't do that. Like, like if you see my niece and that, if you notice, I post her on my page.
Block out the face.
I block out the face.
Yeah,
like I've done a Triller, and I've made her wear a balaclava. And I thought about it. And I was like, I'm not really comfortable. I had that Triller for ages, and there's bits of it that I'm just like,
Then again, that's another one of the negatives.
I don't know if I'm comfortable putting this out there like that. Like it's a bit too. It's like me and my niece are having fun. Everyone don't need to see all that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I took it down from Triller. I ain't doing nothing wrong, but something in me was like, this is my niece, like, and okay, she's got a balaclava on, but that's not really fair. Like, and it took me ages to get the balaclava on as well, like, because she wanted to do it, and I was like, cool. Because she knows about my stuff and whatever. But I'm just like, no, like actually, I can do all of these Triller things with my niece and not post it. And she still gets to see it and we have fun and I don't have to hide her and stuff like that. And if I do end up posting her, it's like when she's on my shoulder, my head's in front of her face. And it was a funny moment. And like, I could share that. But you kind of know. And then another thing I've realized as well is like, there's if I wasn't a musician, I would have loved to have been a comedian.
Okay. Yeah.
Like really, I love comedy and I love the skill of being, I really like admire comedians, yeah? And TikTok allows me to fulfill part of that fantasy, part of that dream. And I feel like whenever I'm funny, people take to it. People take to me when I'm funny, when I give some level of advice, when I do music and fashion. And I just stick to those realms. Like when it comes to like giving my opinions on certain things, I'm just like, I don't have the skills for that. So I just stick to those 4 things.
And off the back of that as well, like I'm a very opinionated person. I know that about myself, but 90% of me is a fucking jester, bruv. I'm a joker. I like to laugh. I like to joke. So that would be predominantly what I'd like to put out there. However, I don't feel that people receive me well in that light. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, it's like a battle with myself where I'm thinking, all right, you know, I want people to see what my personality is like. I'm not a bad person. I'm not controversial. But at the same time, it's conflictual between myself. Like, okay, if I try and post the funny side of me, what kind of judgment am I going to get then? Do you get what I mean? It's like you have to kind of...
You kind of get over that in my job. You have to deal with that. Like, because if I perform a song, say for instance, I perform a brand new song in front of people, people just stand there and watch you. I could perform a Chalice, let's say. The crowd goes nuts. Nuts. It's just rolling on the floor. Blah, blah. Then the next song is brand new. the same people that are going nuts were just.
I'm that person, you know, because I'm like, I don't know
Do
the
you get what
song.
I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like you kind of have to. You learn to live with the criticisms and still go forward.
Okay.
But also as well, I realized this as well. The reason why I wasn't able to put my personality out with the other apps is because they weren't built for creatives. I don't like forcing stuff. Like that mum thing
yeah.
wasn't forced.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I found it funny. And in my head, I wanted to see that. And I wanted it to be delivered that way. And TikTok allowed me to create.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, I am a creator. I need to feel like I'm creating something. I'm actually being creative, and that's what the TikTok as a platform allows you to be creative.
So is that your app for the moment then, TikTok?
No, I love Twitter and Instagram, but they're more for like promo and music. That's all people want. Like especially
that's the one that brings out the true you.
But that one, it's like I can do TikTok because I enjoy the creative act. I get to produce actual content, like, and it's funny.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of conflicted because I'm a person. I want to be heard. Everyone wants to be heard. But the thing is, when you kind of, for example, with Twitter, you can post something that you feel very passionate about and get no responses. And then you're then questioning what you said. Did it have enough substance for the masses? You're questioning yourself. So that's where I then have a problem with social media in general, because what I feel I'm bringing and the value that I feel I'm adding might not be reciprocated.
Right.
So then I then question myself, like, what? Are people just seeing my shit and scrolling past? Or is it a me thing? Do they have a perception of me? So even if they agree with it, they're not going to retweet it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a constant, is it me or is it them kind of thing? So
do you know, I think that is as well, partly. It's not, like Dee was actually saying, it's knowing what platform works best for you.
Yeah.
Because what you have to realize is Twitter is an app for words.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, you have a lot of things to say, but do you have a lot of things to say in a written format? And does Twitter allow you to do that? Potentially not. But
Clubhouse might.
Yeah, Clubhouse might, because it allows you to verbally speak to people and orate, where that might be a stronger platform for you in comparison to Twitter.
But saying that though, I heard everything you just said, but this might be something I'm responding to. So that might be the actual current topic of conversation.
Okay.
And I might interject with my piece and it might just get aired. Whereas I'm thinking, hold on, I'm bringing bare value to this and you lot are just airing me. But I'm rolling through and I can see you chatting shit between each other.
But you can have that same conversation in another app and everyone's on your opinion.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's where that battle is, where, like you said, finding the right app for you. And what I realize as well with Twitter is everyone's reading it in a different voice.
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
Do you understand? Like the tone, the voice that is coming out in. So I might be saying it one way and the person might be reading it in an anti-tone, thinking, wow, this guy's being bare anti.
Do you know the amount of times I've just, like an Instagram post or whatever, just scroll through the comments and I've seen someone like have a comment and you can see there's like 20 responses and I've been like, from that comment, I can tell this will be funny.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is someone responding to that person, someone chipping in with what their spit is, and then that person fuck off, man. And then they're saying like, whoa, I wasn't getting at you. I was just saying it from boom, 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 boom. And they're like, oh, sorry, brother. I didn't know, my bad. It's, as you said, people read things out loud in different voices and apply different types of tones because it might be how they would have said it.
True.
You know what's mad though? Like I've noticed as well, on Instagram and Twitter, I look at likes and stuff like that. With TikTok, I really don't care about likes. Like I've noticed that it's not a big deal if one video gets 100,000 and another video gets 500. Like it's more about the creative
100,000.
aspect.
Boy, numbers.
them dreamy numbers. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time as well, how does it affect you?
How do you mean?
Because what I realize is
It's like what you were saying, but it was like what you're saying. It's like you post something, and if I post something on Instagram and it gets aired, I'm a bit like, oh man. If I post something on TikTok and it gets aired, I don't care because I was able to be creative.
But what I'm saying as well is like, for example, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I lost the train of thought. I know what I was trying to say, but it's gone. Yeah, fuck it.
I'm just gonna tag me in, bro. Right. So with social media,
Yeah.
like, does the comments sometimes get to you? What
course.
people might say,
Yeah,
and
of course.
how do you deal with that?
Well, the comment I hate the most, is you're underrated and you don't get the respect you deserve. Like, that is nonsense.
Shit,
I don't mean to.
that.
I don't mean to like.
Same.
You know,
Sorry,
but
man.
I don't mean to be rude because I know when people say it, they say it out of like love, and I'm just like, if I'm so underrated,
Oh, I remember now. Sorry, yeah, go
if
on.
I'm so underrated and not respected as much as I should do, why are you even saying it? Like you've come out of, you clearly rate me enough to say I want you to be bigger. And you've probably gone to a rave and my songs are played 5 times a day. You probably turn on the radio and my songs are played. Where am I underrated? Like I know, to me, I'm just like you guys.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, but in my eyes, I'm like, I've got a career that I want. I've got music out there that people rave to. Where am I not rated? Like, why is it a big deal? Why can't everyone just enjoy the music?
You're rated. No one's disputing that.
Yeah.
But there's people with shitter content. Yes, I'm saying it. Shitter material. Yeah. That have probably got more further. And I don't know your business. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I don't know the music business like that. But at the same time, I'm a consumer. And take away the fact that I'm your brethren, like I can see quality, do you understand? And certain things. So I can look at your music and say, rah, man's thought that out and he's put this and that into it, this detail, and I can relate to that. Then I can see a next man chatting shit over auto-tune and his things going mad viral. I'm like,
but I don't want
work in that.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I don't want everybody to love what I do. I want the people who love what I do to love what I do. And if that means it's a small group of people, then because it's only the small group. Like the other day I was saying to a guy, bruv, I'm not underrated. I was in Lidl the other day with my missus, and this guy was like, you're underrated. He came out of his job, like he was working on the till to tell me that. And I was like, bruv, how am I underrated?
You're here in Lidl and you know who I am. So.
Yeah, like how? And then you're giving me
that
underrated, and then you're giving me a gift by giving me like bare positive energy. Like how am I I don't really care about whatever, and I care about what you think because you are giving me the vibes that I need. And I think a lot of people, especially with social media, they're not happy with what they've got. They always want more, but sometimes it's not about wanting more. Sometimes it's about having what you've got and being happy with that.
And that goes back to what I was saying initially, where people's sense of self-importance gets heightened. Yeah, because you have 50,000 followers, there's certain people out there that have loads of followers, but they chat shit, in my opinion. But because what they're saying might be controversial and a lot of people are latching on, that's why they'll get them followers. Not necessarily because what they're saying has sense or whatever behind it, but because what they're saying is controversial, shit, I'm going to follow that person. Me, myself, I follow people on Twitter and Instagram because they say controversial stuff. And it's not just because they say controversial stuff, but I like to see people's responses to that controversial stuff. Do you understand? So it's not that I'm following that person because they say controversial stuff, but I want to see how the everyday person like yourself and I react to that.
To it, yeah.
Do you understand? So yeah, people's clout and the sense that social media of importance it can give to them, I think it distorts it as well. And
It distorts it massively.
massively, hugely. And yeah, for me, I don't know whether
Imagine
it's
this.
a positive or a negative thing, because on just to say my final piece anyway, social media for me has literally distorted my views on reality. Because I can go onto Twitter and see a video of a man get popped in the head, blood splattered everywhere, and I just scroll past onto the next one.
Yeah, but that's also because of our environment, and we've probably seen that in real life.
But that's one thing. But the fact is, you said probably a lot of people ain't seen that in real life.
No, true.
So you're going onto Twitter, and the first time you're seeing someone get shot is on your phone screen, to the point where you can scroll by and see this 2 times a day. It might be something sexual or pornographic.
Yeah.
And before you know it, like, you're desensitized to all of these things.
Yeah.
So then when you step out your yard,
Or influenced, depending on what you're seeing.
that as well. So when you do eventually step out your yard and you're in the real world, for example, if a man got juked up in front of you, that should be a shocking thing. But if I stepped out of my yard and I see a man get sliced up, I wouldn't be as shocked as I'm supposed to be, because social media has allowed me to be desensitized to all these things. Yeah. That's, I just wanted to say that anyway. But anything else?
One last
Come on.
question.
Speak the things.
So we spoke about the positives, negatives of social media. So we've given them their fair share. But the question that I just want to pose to both of you guys is, with some of these negatives, such as the vitriol in the comments that people might get, the bullying, this, that, the other, do you think that social media companies need to be doing more to protect the people on the platform?
1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think and I think they are starting to as well. But I do think that it's like, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is so true. Like, you just can't have... No, I think you can hear me. You can hear me? Yeah? Is it blessed?
We gonna find out.
So
You gonna learn today.
I know, right? So like, I just think that I've lost my train of thought now. What was the question again?
What was my question? Oh yeah, does social media companies need to do more?
Oh yeah. I think definitely they're doing more of that, and they do need to do more, because at the end of the day, it's like, not some of this stuff is really toxic. Like, people are killing themselves over certain things. Like, it's just, and people are looking at it like, oh, that person's weak. No, like, they weren't supposed to be on this platform like this. Like if you can see a man likes, I don't know, music and trainers and gal, yeah, from an algorithm, you must can see that someone might slightly be mentally unstable due to certain things that they're seeing, and you don't show them that sort of stuff. Like, it should go, it should go both ways. Like, or like you see how like the internet has child lock and all that sort of stuff. That's what should be on, because my phone is constantly on child lock. Like, my internet, there's certain things I can't look at on my phone because I've got a niece and nephew. And it's like, I don't want to turn it on one day and then certain things just show, and then I turn it off. I might as well just have it off all day, right? But it doesn't stop stuff that I see on my Twitter. Like, I might type a rapper's name in, right? Got nothing to do with porn. And then a porn video comes up on my Twitter page, and I'm not looking,
because they hashtag it as well. They're smart. They know how to get you.
But do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I didn't ask to see that. And I've got child lock on my phone.
You'll get some porno star hashtagging Pop Smoke. You'll see some mad banging video.
Yeah, the correlation
and
will be mad.
Bro, why is it hashtag Pop Smoke?
Yeah, but if you got,
they know how to get you.
But bro, you go on Google. Google don't do that. Google, once you've got child lock on it, but I just feel like the restrictions should be in our control and it should be stronger. If we're like, I want a child lock, my phone should be child friendly.
You should be able to have that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and social media does it to the best of, don't show me no porn on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I mean, my response to your question is 100%. Like, you touched on it earlier that, you know, footballers and things like that are getting racially abused because they might have missed a chance in a football game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is
Madness.
outrageous. And I'm not going to sit here and, because people will probably look back on my Twitter from back in the day, I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't abused someone, but not to that extent, like racially.
Yeah.
I might have got angry or whatever, but yeah, there needs to be an element of control because you can't have random guys sitting in his apartment, you know, just texting abuse to people.
In his
Yeah.
boxes.
And-
That's how I imagine a man there.
And like another episode that we've done, you have to be held accountable for that. Do you understand? Like, nobody should be able to be racist or discriminative against anyone else and not be held accountable. So yeah, answer to your question, 1,000%, these media companies. And the thing is, if you, certain videos, you'll go up and someone might send it to you and then you'll go back 5 minutes later, it's gone. And it will say, this video has been restricted in your area or copyrights or
deleted
whatever.
them.
They can do that. So I don't understand how like racist words and these things aren't just immediately eliminated and
Exactly.
people held accountable for that.
Yeah, man. For real. And what he was kind of talking about in terms of child locking and the content that you receive and you don't get the reversal of it. Like, bro, it's so true. Because I remember seeing on the news, I think last year, something about a teenage girl who was, I think she was going through some mental health difficulties. But what wasn't helping was her Facebook feed. So it kept showing her things that would veer her towards suicide, which she eventually done. Because that's all it was pumping out to her. It was, I think it was like suggesting like groups for similar minded people who
See
were
what I'm saying?
depressed. And so she was getting all that exposure, but wasn't getting the flip side of it, i.e., wow, we're seeing that you're kind of looking at all this stuff, you know. Here's a helpline. Like putting that in the cookies, it's just all the negative, the negative, the negative.
And that's part of the problem. I think these companies are capitalizing because they know that these things are going on. And to be honest, I think it brings more people to their platforms. Like people as well, if you know you can get away with certain things, I'd go there. If you know you can go on Twitter and tweet abuse to someone that's been pissing you off.
But I feel like
That's
out of all of those platforms, Twitter is probably the best for being restrictive and being responsible. I think like lately, Twitter's put a lot of effort into like trying to have a level of responsibility and stuff like that.
Okay, well, yeah. To answer your question, definitely, I think more stricter measures need to be put in place, and no one should be able to abuse anyone without being held accountable for it.
Nah, for real, man. It's like you said, they can, all that copyright infringement, they can lock that off within 10 minutes after the boxing match is done, but they can't be removing racist messages because they don't really care about it, man. In my opinion, they don't care about it enough. But where things like that change is people need to start boycotting. And I mean, serious people. It don't work if I boycott it. No one knows who I am.
Of course it does.
It helps. But if I boycott and I say, I'm going to boycott, how much people listen to what I do?
It really depends on what you say.
But what I'll say is, if, for example, let's take Arsenal Football Club, right?
Yeah.
Because I think there were stats released about the amount of abuse Granit Xhaka has received, for example.
Yeah.
If Arsenal said, you know what?
Deserves.
Like, we've had a lot of players,
I'm joking.
not only for our team, but other teams as well, that they miss a penalty, they miss a chance, whatever it is, they get racially abused, or they just get horrible messages. And from what we've seen from Twitter or whoever it is, you're not doing enough. So you know what? We have to take our services elsewhere because you're not doing your due diligence to protect our players.
Yeah.
So how can we knowingly, use your platform knowing that, for example, Xhaka is getting abused. Pepe is getting abused. So many and not just our team, other teams as well. That's what I want to start seeing. Big corporations that
that'd be heavy.
That have these platforms, because it'll make
topple,
more than a drop in the
topple them
ocean from what I do. And they'll have to do something about it.
Yeah, you're right. From that point of view, you are right.
But that's just kind of my idea of where we can kind of move to make it better in a way and hold them accountable for just Wild West of social media, man.
It's actually mad. Obviously, yeah, freedom of speech is one thing, but at the same time, you can't just go around abusing people because you're pissed off.
Yeah,
it's wild.
That to me is just mad. Like, we all get mad and stuff like that, but to abuse someone else because of your emotion, that doesn't sit well with me. And the fact that you can just chuck it out there in the ocean like Twitter, and at someone as well, that's the difference, is that when you attach that at, whether it's a celebrity or not with millions of followers, it's going to go through. And there is that slight inkling of a chance that they might be able to see it.
The thing is, you're not the only one that's done it as well. I was just going to
say that. That's just from you. So if they're getting this on a regular basis, surely a couple of them must slip through that. You know what I mean?
Do you know the amount of times I've seen, for example, something topical happen, like the Jada and Will Smith thing and the August, I can't remember his name thing.
Oh, Cena.
Yeah, the amount of times I've seen memes of that, and obviously it's banter to us, but I've seen someone just at Will Smith. Like, yo, would you have that, bro? Like, I feel for you. I'm thinking, yo, he's probably had about 50,000 of those. That weighs fucking heavy, man.
In.
Trust me.
Yeah.
And that's where what was it you said? People get a heightened sense of themselves.
Self-importance.
It's like, who are you to done man's day like that?
Yeah. You get me? Like that, the same thing could be happening to you. Like, no one's done in your day.
Yeah. Like, imagine, and that's the thing with
because I felt the same way.
With celebrities, I feel bad for them, man.
When that was happening, I remember thinking to myself, I'm not looking at all these memes and stuff like that, because that's a man's family that's been exposed, and
you must get it to a certain extent. I mean,
like
obviously,
that.
you're
not
not
a
footballer, but for example,
not like that.
Because the Party Hard, for example, you obviously made the Party Hard tune, rare. But it's like now, soon as Arsenal lose, people want to abuse you.
Yes, but you know what, right? It's not like Arsenal lose, I feel a way about it, and then everyone's making me feel a way about it. What's grim about the Will and Jada scenario is like, they're going through some serious issues that could cause some level of mental health, that they need space to kind of deal with that. And then you've got the world kind of like
chiming in.
Like, it's none of your business. It's like a man and his wife are having some real issues that they want to work out as well. It's not even like they want to work it out and stick together for the family and say, we want to try this love thing again. And you've got all these other people jumping in, trying to attack Will's masculinity and attack Jada's integrity and all that. And you don't even you've heard one side of the story, and you're not even hearing their side of the story. You're just looking at the side that entertains you the most.
Exactly.
And then and then we don't even know how that affected their children.
Word.
Because how would you like it if that was your kids?
Boy.
Because I can only imagine if, for example...
And some people think their kids are strange already.
That's the thing. Imagine if that was my situation now. What happened to Will happened to me. But on top of that, whilst I'm going through all of that, I might just be sitting in a room in the corner by myself, budding a spliff like, yo, this is mad. All I'm getting is... The whole world knows about my shit.
Yeah, it's long.
And on top of that, they're chiming in, saying, don't take her back, bro. Listen, you deserve... Listen, I want to do what I want to do, and you're not making it easier, man. Like, I feel bad for people.
Can sway your decisions. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Sometimes people are making decisions not even based on what they want to do, just based on what social media keeps saying.
And again, that's that herd mentality.
Saying, you know what, I need the memes to stop. Let me
picks up pace very quickly as well. One person says it, someone says, that seems a bit I'm gonna say that too. And then before you know it, you got
Everyone's
a lot
saying
of
it, yeah.
people saying the same thing. But
Mm.
yeah, that's the good and bad of social media,
Good,
really.
bad and the ugly, man.
But yeah, anything else you wanna add to that? I think we've
Yeah, just people, just be careful of your social media output, man.
Just be aware, man.
be aware. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow up the ting on
Of
our
course.
social media. But yeah, I've been the realest one, Jay.
Lengman Joseph from Around the Ways, aka Joey Leng, aka Just Joey.
And I'm Deneo. I think next time I come on, I'll think of something to say.
Yeah, you got
You gotta come with a new one,
first little
brother.
practice in the mirror now.
Done that one.
You know them with.
Bow.